All right, good evening, guys. Hope you all had an amazing trading day. We had definitely a lot of volatility here coming into the markets. Taking a look here, looks like Nasdaq closed down about 0.73% here, down 53 points on the day. This is not what I was looking for here coming into today. I had a game plan kind of put together, looking for some higher prices there, up towards 74.19 quarters in the Nasdaq here, and that did not end up happening. So I want to take a look and kind of break down some of the trades that we took today, and then also I was unable to get back last night to make a video here, so I'll break down and review some trades that I closed out from yesterday and kind of how yesterday ended up. So I'll start off with that, and then kind of to wrap up the video here, I do want to talk about some things that a lot of people won't talk about, which is losses and taking losses and having losses when it comes to trading. So I ended up taking a loss today trading the Nasdaq, and I'll walk through each one of those trades with you guys and show you, kind of what it was that I was looking for, and then where I was a little bit more aggressive on trying to take some of those entries, and then something that we talked about in the morning power hour with everybody today from MLT is just there's kind of this thing, right, where if you have a good trade, it's because it was a winner, and if you have a bad trade, it's because it was a loser. And the way I like to look at trades is that if you followed your rules, win, lose, or draw, like that part doesn't necessarily matter, right? As long as you followed your rules, then it was a good trade, which is definitely something that I did do today. I followed my rules when it came to the trades I'm going to talk about. So the trades just didn't work out. It's not that they were bad trades. They were good trades. They just didn't work. So I'll talk about that as well. But to jump into it here, take a look at yesterday. This was from 326. This was the end of day there. Like I said, I was out, so unable to get that video done yesterday. But you can see here, had a couple positions on. I had some Apple. This position is still currently open right now. It is down. P&L open on that position is 86 bucks. But as of yesterday, it was down, 118 bucks there. I took a small stop in crude yesterday, and I talked about it in the room as well. It was about a $150 risk for a $1,200 potential profit target there in crude oil. So you can see that's where that $150 loss came from. Nasdaq had a small little winner there on a trail of 20 bucks there. Nothing really to write home about. Russell here. This was the trade where I sold the 1,500 puts in the RTY futures and went ahead and was able to close that out yesterday here for $205 additional on top of whatever it was that I made on Monday in that trade. So I think that trade ended up being good for like 12.5 points in the RTY. So what is that? $625 there in the RTY. And then I had a little trade here in the Dow, good for $185 there. All said and done on the day yesterday was a grand total of a whopping $142 in profits. So really nothing to write home about there. And then again, that little loss from Apple of $118 that was left open. And again, like I said, that's P&L open right now, and that trade is about 86 bucks. The risk on that trade is capped at about 250 bucks. So it's a spread trade that I have on in there. So this, has the potential to basically double. Apple moved a little bit more in my favor today, so P&L opened only 86 bucks. But either way, that's what ended up happening from yesterday. Now let's go ahead and kind of move into today, and everything's already closed out here. So I can't really show any P&Ls, but I've got all the orders here. And what I'll do is I'll actually put a link in the description to the morning power hour. So it's about an hour-long video there, but it's what all of the MLT members get access to each and every day with me, starting at about 9:30, running till about 10:30, sometimes a little bit longer. So I'll put that link from today's session below because I think there was some really valuable information shared in there. So to start off with here, kind of my game plan coming into today, and if we kind of go back here on this chart, what I was looking for initially, right, was we could get a move basically from 75, 88, 75s up into 74, 19 quarters. in the Nasdaq, and then from there, if we could base out sideways, then we had the opportunity to potentially go higher, right? Now, that didn't end up happening. We didn't get to 74.19 quarters, and we definitely didn't go higher. And then same thing here in the S&Ps. I had a level in the S&Ps up at 30 quarters that I wanted to see the same thing on, right? We could trade up into that level, kind of base out sideways, get some confirmations above that level, and then potentially go higher. And you can see that level ended up coming into play. We traded it once, twice, and then pushed through it by a tick there, and that ends up being the high of the day. From there, we moved down, we traded into the 28.10.75s, and from the morning trade plan here, I said, okay, if we crack through 28.10.75s, we've got some room to the downside, and that room to the downside came in at 27.9250, and there actually ends up being a really nice divergence in the S&Ps here at 27.9250. I'll go ahead and highlight that right here. That was this signal. The top left chart here is a S&P chart, 20-day 5-minute chart with just regular trading hours only on there, as all of these charts are just regular trading hours only. Anyways, this signal right here ended up leading to what was the bottom of the move today, and allowed us to get a nice little rally there into the rest of the day, back up into 28.10.75s. So the style of trading that I like to do from level to level ended up working today. I just wanted to see a move higher through these levels in order to take some bigger swing longs and kind of get the move up towards this gap fill of 28.60s or so. Again, that didn't happen, and you know, that's completely fine. It's completely normal. It's going to happen. And as I mentioned this morning in the Power Hour, if you have a trader that tells you that they win every single day, they have no losing trades, no losing days, no losing weeks, whatever, they are either absolutely amazing, or they're lying to you, or have not actually been trading for any length of time. So if you hear something like that, it's just not true. And I want to talk about those. So my first trade today came in. I took it about a minute before the bell here. I got long Nasdaq at 73.85.75. So pretty much right here, kind of actually at what the opening print ended up being. I went ahead and took a long position in there, and that was at 9:28 and 59 seconds. And then at 9:40 and 33 seconds, I ended up getting stopped out of that trade right down in here at 73.77.75s. So took about an 8-point stop loss there on the first trade of the day in the Nasdaq, about 10 minutes into the day, right? And remember, my game plan was we need to be above this 73.88.75s, get a pullback to it, and then we can come up here and get to our target of 74.19 quarters. Again, as you're looking at this chart in hindsight, you can see that didn't happen. And just to preface this, I'm trading just one lots right now in this account. So took an 8-point stop loss in the Nasdaq, loss of about $160 there on that trade. And then about 2 minutes later, I went ahead and stepped back in, pretty much right in, actually on this bar here, this little green tail right there. I went ahead and got back into this trade at 73.81s, so somewhere kind of like right there. And that trade, again, ended up not working out, got stopped out here, back down at 77 quarters. So took one trade off the open, rallied up, stopped out. Took another trade here, rallied up, stopped out. So 2 losses, one 8 points, one about 4.25 points there. And then the next trade that I took ended up being here, waited until 9:51, 73.90.50s, right in through here, right? I wanted to see a move back up over those 88.75s in order to get long. We finally started to get that. We had one test here, 2 tests here. So on the third test, I said, okay, let's break out here. We'll get up to our 74.19 quarters. That, again, obviously did not happen. As you can see here, the market just started to crater on me again and ended up getting stopped out of that trade at 81 quarters, kind of right down in there. Now, something interesting happened here that I have not had happen to me before. And again, that stop loss was a little bit larger than I really wanted it to be. I was not really trying to give it much room under 85.75s, and ended up going about 4.5 points through that level before I got taken out. Um, what ended up happening though after that was really interesting, all in the same second. So I had a one lot long. I went ahead and hit the close button, and what's really interesting is that um, I then got filled back to the long side all within the same second, right? So I got stopped out of my long. I'm flat. I'm immediately right back into a trade that I got filled on long at 73.82 quarters, right, for the plus side. So I'm long one contract now, and then immediately in the same second again, I got taken out of that trade, which I didn't even intend to be on. I didn't even click a button to get into that position. I got taken back out of that one at 73.80.75s. So I lost like almost 2 points there, which is $40 per contract. I'm only trading on one lot, but I lost like $40 right there for really what I can't figure out what reason. I clicked the close button, and for whatever reason, it decided to put me back into a trade and then take me out of that one. So I don't know exactly what ended up happening there. But it's something that we talk about that one's a new one for me. But it's something that we talk about in the MLT Pro course, where you're going to have some software risk, you're going to have some connectivity risk, you're going to have some execution risk, you're going to have news risk, things like that. Where again, I have not ran into this issue before, but for whatever reason, it happened today. And you just have to kind of know how to handle those situations and be prepared for them. So I ended up being patient from this point here and just waited and waited and waited. And then boom, I saw a divergence down here. And I even said it in the room. I'm like, I really want to be long somewhere down in here. I want to say price was printing about 68 or so. Again, I did not get long down there. I had already taken 3 little stop outs by that point. And I'm like, okay, I'll be patient. I'll wait. Price needs to prove itself. We need to get back up above 73.88.75s. So then fast forward here about 30 minutes here, 10:26, kind of right in through here. I went ahead and established another long position at 73.90s. Right, we'd finally come back up here again, and we were starting to pull back. And so I went ahead and bought the pullback there, 73.90s on that trade. And then again, I gave this one a little bit more room than I should have as well, and took a stop loss on that trade at 73.79.75s. So I gave it this first initial pullback. It started to rally back and then couldn't get back through the opening print here of 85.75s or even the 88.75s there, and then went ahead and got stopped out right there. So I took one trade off the open, another trade right in through here, and then I had another trade right here, and then I had one more trade up in here, and none of those ended up working out. So all in all, I think P&L on the day for Nasdaq on those trades was like negative 635, somewhere in that range, negative 665, something like that. I can't remember the exact number, and I forgot to screenshot it, unfortunately. But either way, when you have some losses like that and you have a market that's not doing what you think it should be doing or what you're looking for it to do, you just got to call it quits from that point. And you just got to let it go and let it set up another day, another time, and find another entry into a trade. So again, I was a little bit more aggressive today on some of these entries here, and took a little bit larger stops than I wanted to, had some, weird trades going on. So all in all, that combination of a bunch of things was like, all right, I need to go ahead and kind of wipe the slate clean here and let this market do whatever it wants to do. So what did I do? I went ahead and closed down the Thinkorswim platform and stepped away from the computer and went to the gym. Now, one thing I want to talk about there with that is, not revenge trading, not coming in and going, okay, I need to make, my $600 back, is just letting the market do what it wants to do it wasn't playing in your favor today. It didn't give you the opportunities in order to pull any profits from the markets. Again, there's people that made money today, right? There's people that look to the short side or flip their bias. I didn't have really any good, what I thought solid trading strategies to the short side today. So I didn't do that. I didn't flip. I didn't take any shorts at all. I only focused on those longs in the Nasdaq. And again, they ended up obviously not working out. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to have trades that end up doing that. And being able to keep your emotions in check when it comes to that is extremely, extremely important. So anyways, that's what I've got for you guys so far here today on this video. Like I said, I'm going to leave a link to today's live trading session that all of the members got to watch me in the description below. I encourage all of you guys to at least check that video out and see kind of what goes on a day-to-day basis. And again, what actually happens when you're having, quote unquote, a rough day, right? I didn't make any money today. I lost money today. And just kind of walking through that psychology. If you're struggling with those things, if you're struggling with taking too many trades in a day or revenge trading, getting emotional, getting pissed off, maybe hitting your monitor, throwing it out the window, doing whatever, check that video out. So that link's going to be down there in the description. As always, if you like the content, give me a thumbs up. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button and the little bell, because I go live each and every morning at 9 o'clock Eastern, tell you guys what I'm looking to do for the day, right or wrong. It is what it is. And also, if you have any ideas for future content, leave those in the comment section below. And also let me know if you guys struggle with, your emotions and the psyche when it comes to trading. Just go ahead and leave me a comment down there, and I'll be happy to reply to you guys. So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. For all of the MLT members, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. and then 9:30 for the live trading session. Take care, and I'll see you guys then.